Welcome to Heart, where we talk about all things video games, movies, and animes. And today we're going to be talking about easily one of my favorite games of 2023, Final Fantasy XVI. I finished Final Fantasy XVI last week, and I pretty much did a review right as the credits were rolling. So I'm going to let that rip, because I was streaming it on twitch.tv/thepitlive. But I did a review as the credits were rolling, kind of talked about it for about 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to let that rip. But I have a couple things I gotta say before that. One is that spoilers for the whole game, all of it, immediately, off rip, because I just start talking about the ending immediately. Within 30 seconds, I'm spoiling just the whole entire game. So if you're planning on playing it blind, I can't talk about it without talking about some of the major plot points, and especially the ending, because I really like the ending, and I just really like the game in general, which is number two, spoiler, because I kind of had to tie that into it. I liked the game. I liked it a lot. It was great. I don't think I mentioned the score at all, and I just wanted to say yes. Final Fantasy XVI score absolutely slaps. If you can expect anything out of Final Fantasy, is that it's going to have a fantastic soundtrack. Every single game has a phenomenal soundtrack, and this is no different. So shout out to that. I do mention this, but I want to expand on it, is that I've seen a handful of reviews, videos, articles talk about Final Fantasy XVI is a good game, but a bad Final Fantasy game. And I didn't really understand what that meant. I brought it up to my buddy, and he said it's because the beginning of the game had more of a serious and dark tone, and then as the game moves on, it turns into a typical Final Fantasy type of feel, power of friendship type of stuff. And yes, the ending has massive power of friendship feelings to it. Don't quite yell the power of friendship, but I did, because it was the power of friendship. That's not ultimately what beats the bad guy or whatever, but at the same time, the ending was, as a lot of other people were describing the game, as a Final Fantasy Game of Thrones-esque game. The ending, the middle, the beginning, the whole way through was very Game of Thrones, as in they are not scared to kill characters. They do not pull punches. So to complain about it turning into a typical Final Fantasy story at the end, I don't really know what you were expecting. That's what I just don't understand. So let me know if that's what you think. If you don't think it's a good Final Fantasy game, please tell me in the comments below, because I'm genuinely curious about that, because I just don't understand. But also, I am versed in Final Fantasy, but I've only played Final Fantasy VII, not the original, but I've played part of the remake. I know everything that happens in the original, and I'm obsessed with Final Fantasy Crisis Core. And then I've played, I think, 10, and whatever one has lightning in it, I've played that one a bit. It's 12 or 13, I think 13. Final Fantasy Dissidia, I really liked those games. Those games were cool. I had that on the PSP. So in saying that, Final Fantasy 16 is a banger, and I'm going to tell you exactly why, because you and I are going to have a little heart-to-heart. That one was sad. That is sad. It was also good. That ending was actually insane. The whole ending sequence was wild. That was a really fun boss fight. And I really didn't, not till late in the game was I oh my god, is Clive gonna die? I really didn't think that all three characters who went at the end there were gonna die. I really didn't think that they would all die. And when he washed up on the beach, I thought he was still alive. And then when I saw his hand, how it was all hardened from using too much magic, I was oh my god, can we gonna kill him? Knowing how sad Gav and Jill were gonna be. The fucking dog, man. It's crazy. What a good game. What a really, really good game. I can't believe it's out for Game of the Year. It really did have everything, fantastic voice acting, fantastic graphics. The story was a little confusing, but it actually came together at the end into understanding. Literally just the basic Final Fantasy, exactly what you'd expect. You would literally have to fight God at the end for freedom, essentially. You know what I mean? You've been puppeteered the whole time into the things that you were doing, thinking that's what you're supposed to do, but really that's not the case. That's what the bad guy wanted you to do the whole time. With the power of friendship and love, you were able to overcome. That's something he was never able to feel before, and that's where you have the upper hand advantage. All of the main icon boss fights were really, really good. Really, really good. They were so much fun. Right off the get-go, it had really good cinematics, and it showed you that it wasn't messing around whatsoever. The game knew right away that people were getting killed off. It was going to be bloody. Right away, it gave you a lot of people were comparing it to Final Fantasy Game of Thrones, which is very appropriate. They did a really good job of getting you invested in the characters you needed to be invested in right away. And the love arc between Jill and Clive. up until the moment where they finally kiss. Holy shit, it's crazy the amount of tension that's there. They do such a good job of that. Like, the writing was really good. All the design choices were really good. Like, I loved how the icons or the summons were icons. You were almost like a Jinchuriki, like whoever had X summon. And it's like all the classic Final Fantasy summons, but people just had them inside of them. And then when Clive realized, like, I figured that Clive would be able to host all of them, but then once the character actually figures it out, it's a pretty big turning point in the story. And then all the icon battles were not only massive and flashy, they weren't difficult, but they also weren't just super easy. Like, they had enough variance in them where you still had to be focused, and it wasn't just like square the whole time. There was a lot of that, but in the appropriate times where it made a lot of sense. Like, I fell in love with a couple characters like Gav and Sid.
Clive, my boy, even life's smallest challenges offer the opportunity to grow and to change. You must embrace these moments. Allow them to suffuse your heart with a deep sense of fulfillment.
Sid, or Clive, Gav I meant, he gets like a scar on his face, and it's really quick when it happens. And I thought they killed him, and I screamed. I was so fucking sad, but they didn't, so that's good. Yeah, this game took me, this would be around 50, just over 50 hours, and that's with a lot of side quests. I beat one S rank hunt, and I did a lot of the other hunts. Like, I did a ton of hunts, but I did the one S rank because it was a dragon. I really wanted to beat it, and I was feeling stubborn. Oh my god, it's not gonna be enough. Yes, let's go! All of the voice acting in this game was really, really good. All of it. Not a single... Everyone was so good. Even the minor characters or people you only run in once in a while. Even characters who you'd come up to fight, mobs of monsters or mobs of enemies, like soldiers or something. And there'd be a main soldier, and he would go, "The bastards wearing the moon and stars." And they just put everything they have into that 3 seconds of dialogue, you know? And it would make a difference.
The Dane laughed when we offered her our protection. You reckon this prick's really worth a couple of the Emperor's finest?
I dare say there's ways of finding out.
All the NPC building, or all the other characters who weren't important, like, it really felt important. The whole world, the world building was all there. Everything was just there. This is just a fucking fantastic game. I had been reading that some people were saying, oh, this is a good game, but not a good Final Fantasy game.
Now, that just might be the dumbest thing I have ever read.
For me, like, I was super invested to my characters, you know, Clive, Jill, even the dog, Gav, Sid, all of the, like, game looks beautiful. Game looks absolutely beautiful, and the cutscenes are beautiful. All the actual gameplay is beautiful, and not only that, but the gameplay is fluid and easy to do. You can mash into combos, like, very fluidly, I guess would be a good word. You can slip and slide into all the different types of icon combos that you have. You can have 3 icons at a time, so you're like your 3 summons, your 3 special moves. You like rotate with L2, and then you trigger them by holding R2 and then either square or triangle, so you can have six of them, and you can kind of mix match them a little bit. I wish you could mix match them a little more, so where, like, if I was using Odin on one, I could use an Odin attack and then like a Shiva attack or something like that, but it seems like you can only mix and match some of them, so I just did what I could there, and that was fine. Felt like a lot of the items in the item system, I just used whatever made my stats go up. Like, I didn't really think about it at all. I'll be honest. Tried to use whatever, like, best sword I could find, best like gauntlets and belts. Like, I just used whatever made it go up, so that was fine. And you can even customize it, so you can make your sword look like whatever sword you want and all this stuff. So if you don't like the way your sword looks, you can just change it. So if that means more to you than anything, then there's that. The difficulty in the game wasn't, I did struggle on, like, that dragon boss, the S rank hunt. He was probably the hardest boss I struggled on in the game. But other than that, I didn't struggle too hard. I cruised through pretty well, but I wanted to do a lot of the side missions. Like, I didn't just want to crank through the story. Like, I really wanted to do more, and I was invested in some of the other stuff that was going on. Like, the blacksmith side mission is really good. I'm glad I did that one. That was a good one to get invested to. You know, the build up to the hooded character is, like, really good. Like, I don't know, the whole game's just good. There's like a couple there's multiple different storylines. It's not just we have to kill right from the beginning. Like, there's a lot of different storylines, from Clive thinking he's gonna fight the hooded man who killed his brother, and then, well, okay, I'm getting to crazy spoilers now, but I don't want to get into too crazy of spoilers. But basically, it's a wild ride, and if you have a PS5, this is definitely a must play. How it's not up for game of the year, man, is insane. Like, I just sobbed at the end of this game. I cried when certain characters died. Yeah, this game is not to mess with. It was a lot of fun. I think I really liked with summons. I wonder if there's like a summoning tier list. I'll do all of the summons, like which ones I thought were the best. There's only like 6 or 8 or something, so it'll be a fast tier list, but we can do that. I think that's about all I got. Is I really like this game, and if you're looking to, yeah, like if you have a PS5 and you can get this game, I would recommend getting it. It is awesome. It is so awesome. So invested to all the characters, and I'll probably keep playing after. I know there's not New Game Plus right now, but I'll probably still do a couple of the hunts because the combat is just genuinely fun. It's free roam, I guess. Like you go into an area and then you'll see an enemy, and then the battle just starts. It's not like you go into a battle phase or anything like that, and then the battle, you don't go into separate battle areas. It's not like turn-based or anything. You just go and mash some buttons around, and cool options where you can like remap buttons. You could literally play the whole game by just pressing one button. You can map everything to just a handful of buttons and make everything easier. So that's something you could do there. But yeah, I really like this game. Easily one of my favorite games of 2023. No idea how it's not up for Game of the Year. Voice acting, all the voice actors did phenomenal, and I hope that Clive wins Best Voice Actor at the Game Awards because that shit was popping. Yeah, I'm not gonna give it a rating. I don't know how to do that anymore. I was thinking about it hard. I haven't done like a video where I give something a rating in a long time. I just want to talk about videos and games that I really like. So this is just a game I really liked. Is a banger of a game, a must play in my opinion. Oh, he's doing another one. He had two one-liners for the ender there. I streamed it live on Twitch, but you'll probably be able to see it. I'll be releasing some videos on my YouTube. I'm just Jacob. I got an Attack on Titan video. Finished Tears of the Kingdom finally, so that's good. But yeah, you can find it there. If not, I streamed it at twitch.tv/thepit live. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Until next time, Final Fantasy's a banger. All right, peace. Oh my God, I'm.
Did our journey end?
Oh man, wow, what a ride. That is insane. I can't believe that's not up for Game of the Year.